Welcome to a special episode of Revolt Black News. I'm your guest host, Bree Harmon. The Tulsa Massacre burned more than 1,200 homes and erased years of Black success. As 100 years have passed, we stopped to acknowledge the Tulsa Massacre and how it has shaped Black America today. Joining me to talk about the Tulsa Race Massacre is director of Dreamland, the burning of Black Wall Street, Salima Karoma. Salima Karoma, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Bree.
Thank you for coming. This is a topic that I think we all need to discuss right now, right? Before we even get into the actual massacre, tell me about Black Wall Street, where it all began. Where did it start? When it started?
So Black Wall Street, like a lot of people, when they think of Black Wall Street, they are really thinking about some people, they think what Wall Street, right? But actually Black Wall Street was Black Main Street. It's the place that you go in Greenwood, which is an outskirt of Tulsa, the Black enclave called Greenwood. And this place had, doctors and lawyers and businessmen and women and homeowners and, people who owned houses and hotels. I mean, this is Black excellence to the extreme in a way that we haven't even seen it before. So that's what Black Wall Street was. And it's still there today, though not the same that it used to be.
Dreamland, tell me about it. Because I think at this point, it's giving all the background. And I'm ashamed to say, I did not even know of this. I wasn't taught. And to watch it and hear about it and even see it on the news right now, you literally give us it laid out in that.
Wow.
What is it? Tell me about it.
So yeah, Dreamland is a documentary that I pitched a few times in the past. And, people are like, what is this story? Who are these? Are Black people getting killed? I don't know if I want to hear about white people killing Black people. But I think that in 2020, when I was pitching this again, people were ready to hear it. I think because we were facing this, facing this racial, our racial past, the sins of the past in this country. And so this film really touched on that a lot, because also in the film, they're trying to find these bodies from the massacre. And they're literally digging into the ground and digging up the buried sins of the past of this small town. And America is dealing with that same thing in a sense as well. We gonna talk about this race. We gonna talk about our history. We're gonna talk about it, and finally, face to face, head to head, we're gonna do it as a country.
And what blows me is the fact that there's no documentation on this. You can really find anything. It's been burned, it's been buried, it's gone. And I find that very shocking. Actually, take that back, not shocking at all. Just because of what we're dealing with today and how people are sitting here acting like it never happened or there's nothing wrong that's gone on.
Well, you know what? Something that I haven't even said or haven't mentioned, or it wasn't mentioned in the film, is that when a lot of these people's stuff was burned down or looted, their homes were looted. I'm talking, these people had beautiful clothing and furniture and pianos and all these things that they had. And after the massacre, there were people in Greenwood who would see white people wearing their things, wearing their coats, wearing their brooches, wearing their little things, like, oh, isn't that mine, right? You don't have any right to go, but you don't have any right to go take it back, right? So just even having those family heirlooms, they don't exist. The photos for Greenwood before the massacre, before everything was burned down, doesn't exist. In fact, in the film, what you'll see is a lot of that video, that old archive that looks so dope, where you have, the Black families just dressed to the nines, going to work or in their homes. A lot of that was from after the massacre, when Greenwood rebuilt itself. So that's something, that people don't know as well.
It's crazy, but I want to talk about why Dreamland? What inspired you? What made you want to tell this story now?
So Dreamland, when you hear it, and I actually love the name Dreamland, because it's what we as Black people dreamed that we could have been. And when I think of when I watched Black Panther, and I'm like, yo, Wakanda, we could have been that, we could be that. And it's like, no, we were that. We already were that here in this country 100 years ago in a place called Greenwood. And so Dreamland, also there was a place called the Dreamland Theater there in Greenwood. So it's sort of an offshoot of that. But this is the promised land. It's a place where people, Black people, could be excellent.
Them. Excellent. Yeah. Equal as much as everyone else can be. Own something just like the white man can, just like the neighbor can, be themselves. And it's sad that they couldn't even do it. They're upset of the success, of the wealth, of the happiness that we're able to do.
And on top of that, it's funny because it's like the reason why Greenwood even existed in the first place is because at that time, white people wouldn't let them go into their businesses, wouldn't let them patronize their stores. So in Greenwood, they were like, yeah, we have to make our own. Granted, it's not just like Greenwood came out of nowhere. It also came out of an oil boom in Tulsa. Tulsa was like the richest place in the world, right? And so that's why that was able to happen.
So are you shocked that it's not taught in schools, or it's not something that we should all know at this point or have heard of?
Am I shocked that this has not been told? Bree, what Black history have they told us in school? Honestly, like in high school, I remember, I swear, and you probably had the same experience. Like when I was in high school, I learned about Black history was really Martin Luther King. We didn't even learn about Malcolm. Rosa Parks.
Like no one. Yeah.
And let's not like, I'm not even trying to put that, I mean, Martin Luther King, he's the bomb. You know what I mean?
Right.
Rosa Parks, she's the bomb, right? But like we didn't know, we learned about slavery and we learned about the civil rights movement. And I think that we are more than just that history. And we are even more than just the massacre or the riot or whatever you want to call it. We were what Greenwood was. We can be that. And that's, I want to tease that out and let people think like I know when I was watching the film, when it came on and I was scrolling through Twitter and people were getting upset. They were, I'm upset that this happened to us. But I'm like, yes, we can be upset, but let's take something from what they did. We have to take something from what they did, which is they let their money circulate amongst themselves over and over and over in their own community. Like, let's not just talk about it. We have to be about it.
Yeah, and do something. And I think we are. I can honestly say we are. We're taking ownership back. We're seeing that we are, this is ours. And I love that about this generation today. It's sad that it had to take so much within the last couple years in social media to bring it all out. But the fact that it's here now. And before I let you go, let's talk about the survivors. Let's talk about what Biden is going to have lunch with them or going to meet with them and do something. What do they deserve?
Is he going to meet with them? Listen. Yo, I have not watched the news.
Go out there and meet with them, so we'll see.
Oh, interesting. You want to know what? This is what I'll say, just to be keeping 100 with you. If Biden is going down there to go, hey, listen, everyone's met with the survivors. Everyone's shaking their hands, and there's always been this commemoration, and give you a jersey. But these people, I think, need more than a meeting. They need reparations. People like to, balk at the idea of reparations when they hear that word. They're like, reparations, how are we going to do that? We know, because there are 3 survivors that are right there, that are still alive, that have rent to pay, that have, that could use a new car to get around from, to their hospital visits. Like a meeting with the president is great. It's something that you can put in your, your scrapbook. But listen, these people need money. Let's talk with the money.
It's more than that. And like, I think, again, that's not even enough. That's not even enough, but give me something. Give them something for what they want.
You said it. The generational wealth, not just of the survivors, but of those descendants that still live there today, was completely wiped out, obliterated, doesn't exist anymore. So we think about all those people in Tulsa, all the white people in Tulsa who still are eating and living off this oil money from Tulsa, the oil strike in 1900. And Black people don't have that anymore in Tulsa. Something needs to be done. It needs to be rectified.
Salima, I want to thank you so much for talking to us today. If you guys have not seen it, please go see Dreamland. Please watch it. Please support. You're amazing. Thank you for sharing this story. And again, all I want to say is thank you, because this is something that I honestly did not know much about. And to now be woke, if you want to call it, and see it and learn about it, I'm here for it.
Thank you so much, Bree, for having me on. Thank you, guys.
Hey y'all, now for full episodes of Revolt Black News, tune into Revolt TV. And if your cable provider doesn't carry it, make sure you reach out and let them know that you're trying to join the revolution. I'll see y'all every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Revolt.